Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. So I'm gonna keep my voice down because it's like 4 in the morning. I've been knocked out cold since the beginning of the Laker game. So I've gotten my full night's sleep, and I wake up to the highlights of the game, and I got what I expected, which is the Los Angeles Lakers getting blown out real smooth by the Phoenix Suns at Crypto.com Arena. So Isaiah Thomas went 1 for 11. Taylor Horton Tucker, if I'm not mistaken, went 1 for 13. When you have shooting performances like that by two players, you lost. Period. Now, the Lakers had my magic number of 14 turnovers. That's the maximum amount of turnovers I think we can compete with. Anything more than that, we lose. But we lost by 20 tonight. We lost by 20, not necessarily because of the turnovers, even though we had 14, which is the magic number. That's the maximum. But we lost because we shot 20% from the three-point line. Now, the Phoenix Suns shot 27% from the three-point line. That was by far the worst three-point shooting game of their season. But it didn't matter because we shot even worse and made it very easy on them. Now, I want to give credit to LeBron James for playing great. He's just continuing to show me that he can play off the ball comfortably, as I didn't expect he would have any trouble doing. But he's proven it. He slashes with the best of them. Any concerns about him playing off the ball is over with. He could play off the ball every play and be just as effective as any player in the league because of how well he slashes and how well he dives into the paint. There were repeated situations where he was the recipient of passes, diving in the paint, dunking the ball. And as sure as my name is Brandon, he's still one of the most dominant players in that regard in the NBA today. Very few players move with that type of velocity at all, regardless of age. It's him, it's Giannis, and maybe a few other athletes, Zion or something. That's it. Guys that move like that tend to have a whole lot of success off the ball, and that's exactly what he does. So I've been thrilled with LeBron James. Gave us 34 solid points tonight, even on a hobbled ankle that he hurt in the third quarter today. So as far as his individual performance, he was spectacular. From what I saw in the highlights, he was spectacular. I mean, I didn't see everything. Obviously, there was plenty to miss, but what I saw was exactly what I need to see from a guy who's going to be playing off the ball so long as Russell's on this team. So if I could be encouraged by anything, it's just LeBron James continued to impress, continuing to be GOAT level even now. So it's a damn shame he's stuck on this bad team. Russell Westbrook played well too. He gave us a lot of what I like to see from him in terms of diving to the basket himself. I like how he attacked the glass. I like how he slashed to the rim repeatedly. I'm sure there was some bad Russell Westbrook too that I did not see in the highlights, turnovers, things of that nature. He's been back to his bad stuff in terms of turnovers. But I saw some bad turnovers out of a lot of people tonight. We played some players that don't play a lot, and I thought they were trying to force it. I was very impressed with Trevor Ariza. I like his shot selection. I like the poise he played with. I like the rhythm that he plays with. It's too bad that we weren't able to kind of put him in a bigger role this season because of injuries and because of his age. I don't think he'll be taking on the role that we need him to play. But tonight he looked good. He looked really good, and I was happy to see him out there. I heard that Carmelo Anthony got ejected after a couple of foul calls or something like that he wasn't pleased with. I didn't see that, but I read it, so there's the information there. You got to give Phoenix all the credit in the world. They're one of the best teams in the league this year, and they played not their greatest ball. We came out with a spirited effort, kept it close, but they just imposed their will as they're supposed to with simply more weapons and a better team. Guys like Devin Booker shot us out the game. Cam Johnson played well. Cam Payne played well. DeAndre Ayton did what he was supposed to do. Of course, Chris Paul is playing great. Mikal Bridges is playing some great ball defensively and offensively. It's just hard to beat a team like that. JaVale McGee came in playing big, catching lobs, reminding us why we should have never let him go. Stuff like that. The Los Angeles Lakers, like I said in the comments section after the game, I'm not interested in anything but the roster. As far as I'm concerned, it's up to Rob to make us better. There's no one else to talk about in regards to the Los Angeles Lakers at this point. There's no one else relevant. Period. Everybody, the players, coaching, nobody's relevant right now. The only person that truly is wearing a Laker uniform right now, who's actually on the clock, who's standing at the free throw line, who needs to hit shots, is our GM. It's him. He's the guy. Everything's about him. Everything else is shaded to gray. We ain't paying attention to nobody. It's just you, Rob. Because you got to make us better, bro. That's it. You got to reach in your bag of tricks and get us some players that can play this game. Because if we don't do that, this is over with. It's already looking over with. But as far as the reality of it being over, well, that's all determined by what happens next with our GM, what type of deals he's able to pull off, the execution of those deals, and making sure that we don't overpay for crap that can't help us win the championship. And ultimately, that's it. I'm not going to hold Isaiah Thomas to this performance, but I will tell you this: he did not help himself with that 10-day contract he got on right now. Not shooting like that. Once you start bricking 5 shots, it's time to stop shooting. And I'm not necessarily saying the same thing to Taylor, because Taylor's 20 years old. And he's going to learn that. But a guy on the contract that Isaiah's on, you can't go 1 for 12, 1 for 13, bro. You can't do that. They will use that against you and will waive you for that. Just simply because we're a struggling team, missing players who needs quality possessions. If you're going to be a detriment to literally 11 possessions, and that's not even counting the defense for which you're not going to be able to affect naturally, well, then you've hurt your team more than you've done anything. Off the strength of just what you can't do versus what actually took place. You know, so I'm not going to say I'm disappointed in Isaiah Thomas, because that's not the right word. I'm just concerned. It's not disappointment. This is, bad games happen. But how you manage your bad games when the rope is very short is very, very important. A guy like THT is locked up. The worst thing that happens to him, he gets traded, he goes to another team, gets the same amount of minutes. You know what I mean? He's going to grow up, be who he's going to be, and that's it. Isaiah Thomas is on a 10-day contract. You know what I mean? To me, I'm not trying to go more than 1 for 6. Once I see 6 up drop and they ain't falling, everything else I'm doing is going to be other stuff. I'm looking to assist the ball, and if I'm not shooting anything outside of 10 feet. If it ain't a floater, I'm not shooting it. Because you have to manage your negative play as it pertains to this team. Because if they're going to play you big minutes and ask you to come in and be this big role player, going for 1 for 12 or 1 for 13, whatever it was, that's gonna get you. That's not gonna work. It's just gonna be bad for you. Especially you got to take the temperature. You got a whole nother player shooting just as poorly. You know what I mean? That's feel for the game. You got another guy that's just as cold as you. One of y'all got to stop shooting. I mean, seriously. One of y'all has to be able to say, okay, we got a whole nother player out here who's just clanking everything. If I'm too doing that, everybody who's playing well's play gets negated. Westbrook, Bron, Trev, those 3 guys played well. It meant nothing because THT and Isaiah continued to shoot poorly. So that's what happened. That's the bottom line. Another thing that did not help the Lakers tonight was how poor DeAndre Jordan looked out there. I mean, as long as he was out there in the highlights, it was like the game was too fast for him. It was like everything he was trying to do wasn't working. He would jump when guys are pump faking. He would stay down when guys are going up. I mean, it was just bad all the way around. Not just from a physical standpoint, but just how he was playing. It was awful. It was nothing short. And being that Dwight's just coming back from protocol, Fitz decided he wasn't going to go with Dwight today. So we went small, and of course you go up against Ayton. You got no success against that. We had sequences where LeBron was last line of defense against JaVale, last line of defense against Ayton. I mean, that kind of stuff. I mean, Those are the type of things I've been wanting the Lakers to kind of take a look at. And obviously, with the shorthanded roster, you can't really do nothing anyway. But that's kind of where we really got beat. And again, it's on Rob to help us with that. We need personnel. It's not about saying, okay, we need the players that we have to do things that they cannot do. Like, that's clearly not possible. You have to get guys who could do or live without. And right now we're living without. So as it pertains to the center position and us going small, we just have to live without. We do not have the personnel to effectively go big and match up against regular NBA teams. And that's why we're, at this point, expected to lose just about every game we play going forward. As long as Dwight Howard and DJ are the guys that we're relying upon to be our last line of defense in 2021, 2022, we're going to be a team that's going to be bad for a while too. It's going to be 4 weeks of bad. That's what it's going to be. As long as AD's out, or as long as we don't get ourselves a center, you're going to see more of the same, and it ain't going to matter who we go up against. You better hope we got Orlando, Oklahoma. We got to play all the bad teams. Those are the only ones we can compete against. We are the bad teams. That's what we've become. So as I look at the roster down the road, I'm looking at the San Antonio Spurs coming up on Thursday. Who's their centers? Who they got? They got Podol, Jakob Poeltl. He's going to have a great game against us. Just letting you know now. Not Jalen Johnson. They got Keldon Johnson, a rebounding power forward. He's going to have fun. Obviously, DeJounte Murray's a triple-double guy. He's going to get one of those. I mean, these are the type of things you could just pencil in before the game even starts. Derek White's probably going to go for over 20 points. These are things you could pencil in right now. Because the Lakers don't have the personnel to do what they need to do to compete against these players and do the things they need to do. Yes, we'll probably get another 30 game out of LeBron. Yes, Russell Westbrook go for his triple-double. Maybe we'll have a big game out of one of those guys that isn't playing well on the bench. Maybe we can get lucky and get Austin Reeves back or something. But at the end of the day, it ain't going to matter because we do not have the personnel to do certain things. We cannot rebound the ball at all. We cannot defend very well. Now our inside presence is rendered to players that don't play that position. We don't shoot the free throw very well. We turn the ball over a lot. We don't particularly shoot the three ball very well. You see all these negatives? There's a lot of stuff that we just naturally, no matter who the opponent is, just don't do well. All of that stuff. So, more losses on the way. Until Rob can pull a rabbit out of the hat, which isn't even guaranteed. If he's able to pull a rabbit out of the hat and get us some guys out of Pacerland who can actually play basketball, or maybe some guys in Sacramento, or maybe somebody in Memphis or one of these teams that would be willing to trade for us. If we can do that, voila, I think we'll have a whole nother strategy to talk about. But as long as this is the roster, this is the conversation. There's nothing to say. Teams are going to beat you, and that's that. So that's what we saw out there. The Phoenix Suns came in, took care of business, got a 20-point game despite shooting poorly, and they did it on the backs of players like superstars like Chris Paul and Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton. They took care of business like they're supposed to, and that's really it. So, as I move forward and as a Laker fan, I'll keep about this close of an eye on the team. But as far as me sitting there watching them, it's hit or miss there, buddy. I'm not going to lie to you. I'll be paying attention. I'll watch all the commentary. I'll watch the highlights, and I will definitely check the stats. But as far as me sitting there for 3 hours watching them get blown out, I went through that couple seasons. I just don't have any interest in that. I don't. I'm not encouraging you guys to not watch, but I'm telling you, I've been watching this game for 30 years. I know when the team is trash. Ain't no sense in watching trash teams, period. That's just my attitude. It's always going to be my attitude as it pertains to the purple and gold, especially when I know what type of market we have. There's no reason for us to have trash players. We can have anybody. So I'm not going to put up what I would put up with from the Pacers or the Kings. I'm not going to do that. I'm not. We the Lakers, man. If we don't have what we need, you go get it. Period. My name is BDF44. Thank y'all for watching.